Hello, my wonderfully drowsy time travelers, my fellow lovers of slow-moving history and stories that melt your mind into dreams. Before we begin our journey to the distant past, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If these sleepy stories help you drift off, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us create more content to lull restless minds to sleep. And if you're feeling extra cozy, leave us a comment. Tell us how long you lasted before dozing off. We love reading your experiences. Now, find your most comfortable position. Let your eyelids grow heavy and allow my voice to guide you into relaxation. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast, untouched wilderness. The air is thick with the scent of moss and damp earth. You hear the soft rustling of distant leaves. A slow wind brushes against your skin. You are barefoot. The soil beneath you is cool, uneven, and the sky above is a sleepy blue, fading into clouds that drift like feathers. You are no longer here. You are far away, in a time before cities, before machines, before books. You are in the world of the ancients, and your stomach is empty. It growls gently, reminding you that even in this dreamy stillness, hunger exists, and it must be answered. There are no markets here, no glowing stoves, no snacks tucked into shiny wrappers, only trees, roots, rocks, streams, and shadows. You take a slow breath. The air is pure, untouched, but tells you nothing. You don't know what to eat, and the world around you is quiet, not with peace, but with mystery. Imagine this ancient hunger, a need as old as time, and now you begin to walk. Your feet sink into the forest floor, a thick bed of leaves and old twigs. Each step crackles softly, and every branch that bends under your hand feels uncertain. You come upon a plant, broad leaves wet with dew, tiny berries, dark and tempting. But do you eat it? Can you? Should you? There is no sign, no label, no knowledge passed down, only instinct, only hope. Your fingers hover. The berries look harmless, but history whispers softly, not all things that glisten are safe. In the world of the ancients, the line between food and poison was a blurry one, deadly quiet and full of traps. Some roots, when eaten raw, would twist your stomach into knots. Others would slow your breath, make your vision blur, and lull your heart into a final, irreversible sleep. Even water, clear and sparkling in a stream, could hold unseen dangers. Tiny creatures, invisible to the eye, that crept into the body like ghosts, silent, lethal. The meat of a dead animal could be nourishing, or deadly, too old, and it rots from within. Spores spread through the flesh, A bitter scent rises from its surface, like a warning, but if hunger is strong, warnings fade, and the ancient ones, our ancestors, had to guess, day by day, bite by bite. They learned through sickness, through pain, through loss. Some things help, some knowledge passed in murmurs. Leaves boiled first, roots washed in flowing water. A shell cracked and smelled before eaten, but so much was trial, and error, and fate. Imagine lying under the stars, belly full of the wrong thing, sweat on your brow, breath heavy, wondering if the night will pass, or if you will not. Plants of the earth are beautiful, but many guard their secrets well, with toxins in their sap, with thorns on their stems, with colors meant to confuse. Even the fruits, sweet and soft on the tongue, could carry seeds that bite back. And so, food in the ancient world was not a comfort. It was a puzzle, a gamble, a test of the senses, and every bite was a story. The first humans learned slowly, cautiously, with wide eyes and trembling hands. They watched the animals, studied what birds ate, what monkeys avoided, what wolves buried. They listened to the earth, waited for signs, not with science, but with instinct, with patience, with dreams, because to eat was to survive, but only if the earth allowed it. And that permission was not always given. Now, close your eyes and rest deeper into that ancient silence. The forest sways gently in your mind. The sky dims and the wind grows still. But the question remains, why did they begin to track time, to map the stars, to create calendars, not just for days, but for seasons, and spirits, and gods? In part 2, we'll gently step into the world of the Aztecs and begin to understand why they needed more than just one calendar to survive, to thrive, and to remember the cycles that shaped their sacred world. But for now, let that question rock you into sleep, soft and slow, until we meet again in dreams. The wind is gone now, only silence remains, like the breath between stars, and through that silence a rhythm begins to whisper, not of footsteps, not of voices, but of time. The ancients began to listen, to notice that the moon did not stay still, that the stars danced in circles, that the sun rose not just every day, but differently with every passing moon, and that the earth had its own slow heartbeat. Some days were warm, others colder. Rains would come and go, and seeds planted did not always grow, but sometimes they did, if the moment was right, if the skies approved, if time itself aligned. And so, in the vast and sacred valleys that would one day be called Mexico, the people began to watch the heavens. They raised their eyes to the stars and lowered their ears to the earth. Till their hearts caught in between, and slowly, through generation after generation of observation, they gave shape to time. Not one shape, but many. Not a single road, but a great web of cycles, of patterns, of sacred motion. We call them calendars, but to the people we call Aztecs, they were something more, something alive. The first calendar was like a solar wheel, made of 365 careful steps. Each step a day. It followed the sun's journey, its golden loop through the sky. This was the calendar of the farmers, the builders, the watchers of corn. It told them when to plant, when to wait, when to prepare for dry spells, when the rains would fall. It was called the Shupohuwali, the count of the years, and it moved softly like a slow breath. There was another calendar, a deeper one, stranger, tighter. It held only 260 days, shorter than a year, but thick with meaning. Each day was a unique combination, a number and a name, like one wind, or 7 flint, or 13 jaguar. This calendar was called the Tonopohuali, the count of days, but it didn't measure seasons. It measured energy and spirit and fate. It told people which days were strong, which were dangerous, which were sacred. It was not used to plant corn, but to plant souls, for births, for ceremonies, for decisions too heavy to make alone. This was the calendar of the priests, the dreamers, the keepers of harmony. And here's where the magic happens. These two calendars, wove together like two threads in a single cloth. The solar calendar moved steadily, 365 steps. The sacred calendar moved in its own rhythm, 260 steps. And like gears in a cosmic machine, they turned day by day until every 52 years they met, they realigned, like a breath returning home. This 52-year cycle was the sacred century, the binding of time, the edge of renewal and destruction, because to the Aztecs, time was not a straight path. It was circular, spiraling like the smoke from sacred fire or the rings of a conch shell, always returning, always beginning again. When those two calendars met after 52 long years, the world held its breath because nothing was promised, and the gods might not allow time to continue. So they prepared, not with joy, but with awe. All fires were put out, all lights darkened, the cities dimmed, and people waited in silence for the moment when the priests would climb the mountain and watch the stars. If the sacred fire returned, the world would begin again. If it did not, time itself would end. But the fire always returned. At least, for now, this was the power of calendars, not just to measure time, but to hold it, to carry it forward, to keep the universe in balance. And so they carved these calendars into stone, wove them into cloth, spoke them into songs, etched them into memory. Because to forget time was to fall out of harmony, to be lost. The stars above were guides, but the calendars were their language, spoken softly by hands of humans. Every day had a face, a mood, a breath of its own. To live well meant living with the day, not against it. If a day was ruled by movement, you did not stay still. If a day was ruled by silence, you did not shout. Even birth itself was guided by the sacred count. Children born on certain days were believed to carry certain gifts or burdens or destinies. So the calendar shaped not just time, but identity, choice, awe, and the spirit of the people. And yet there were more. More calendars still, not just 2 or 3. There were calendars for Venus, the morning star, whose rising and falling was a heartbeat in the heavens. There were calendars for eclipses, for feasts, for sacred games, for the movement of shadows across stone pyramids. Time was not a line. It was a great circle, a sacred clockwork, always in motion, always listening. And so the question was never just, what time is it? But rather, what spirit moves today? What should I become today? The people lived inside these calendars, not as prisoners, but as dancers. Each day, a different step. Each moment, a new turning. And now, you drift, like those ancient wheels, turning slowly in the darkness, held in place by stars and sight. Let your breath follow their rhythm. Let your heart soften into the circle. Let your body settle into this old, sacred quiet. But this is not the end. Not yet. In part 3, we will float deeper into the stonework of the sunstone, the great carved circle that held all these calendars in its heart. And we will whisper what the Aztecs feared most. Not death, not war, but the breaking of time, the falling of the sun, and the day the wheel would stop turning. But for now, rest, float, let time be soft again until we return to the quiet heart of the calendar, where time sleeps and waits. And now, as you lie still, with the rhythm of ancient time wrapped around you like a warm blanket, we descend deeper into stone. Not just any stone, but one carved by hands that no longer breathe, hands guided by sky and spirit, hands that listened to time itself. They chiseled circles into rock, lines within lines, symbols curled into symbols, a mirror of the sky. This was no ordinary sculpture. It was a portal, a memory, a warning, a map of the past, and a whisper of what was to come. We call it the sun stone. But to the Aztecs, it was more than a name. It was a heartbeat, not just a record of days, but of ages. They believed the world had not always been like this. There had been others, other suns, other times. Each age, each world was ruled by a different sun, and each had ended, some in fire, some in storms, some in the jaws of beasts. The sunstone told these stories, not with words, but with shapes, banks, elves, eyes, teeth. At its center, a face, powerful, silent face, with wide eyes, and a tongue shaped like a blade. Some say this is Tonatiuh, the sun itself, but it is not smiling. It is not at peace. This is a sun that knows its fate, knows that even light one day must go dark. Around this face, 4 boxes, each one a world that came before. The first sun devoured by jaguars, the second swept away by great winds, the third destroyed by fiery rain, the fourth drowned beneath rising waters, and now we live in the 5th sun, the final age, the last breath of time. But it, too, will end one day, in movement, in trembling. The Aztecs believed it would fall through earthquakes, through shaking ground, through the collapse of all things steady. This is what they feared, not the end of life, but the end of times. Rhythm, the moment when the sun would rise, no more. And so they gave everything to keep it moving. They fed the sun with offerings, with blood, with hearts, not out of cruelty, but devotion, because to them the universe was fragile, delicate, like breath on glass, and every heartbeat, every ritual helped the sun remember its power, helped time stay in place. It is hard for us now to feel that, to believe the sky could forget to turn, that the stars could fall asleep and never wake again. But close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing atop a quiet pyramid, the wind soft against your skin, the stone still warm from the day's sun, and far above, the heavens, clear, unmoving. What if it stopped? What if the dawn never came? This was their question, their fear, their duty. And so they watched the skies with reverence, read the patterns of Venus, tracked eclipses like omens. They counted not just days, but shadows, echoes, like signs. The sunstone was not a tool. It was a plea, a memory carved in stone. So the future would not forget, because time to the Aztec was alive, hungry, holy. And just as the days moved in circles, so too did the stories, so too did the fates. Every rise became a fall, every beginning held the seed of an ending, and so they lived in cycles, not by accident, but by faith. Well, their calendars were not charts, they were prayers, drawn in sunlight, etched into obsidian, measured in the silence between stars. Even their buildings, their city, were aligned to time, temples placed to greet the solstice, stairways where shadows danced only on sacred days. They built with sky in mind, not with clock hands, but with celestial breath. And each festival, each ceremony, tuned them, brought them back into balance, because time was not just out there, it was in them, moving through blood, through breath, through dreams. Even sleep was part of the cycle, a daily death, a gentle rehearsal. And as you rest now, floating in that rhythm, you begin to feel it too, not with the mind, but with the body, with something quieter. The calendars, the suns, the stone, they are not just history, they are memory, repetition, and return. And so, dear dreamer, let the circles turn. Let your thoughts spiral inward. Let your breath match the pulse of time, because we are not so far from those ancient ones. We too live in patterns. We too watch the sky and wonder, how long will it last? How many sunrises remain? But tonight, there is no need to worry, no need to count, no need to know, only to drift, to rest, to remember that time will turn with or without us. But the stories remain, and when we meet again in part 4, we will walk through the sacred city of Tenochtitlan. We will stand before calendars carved into walls and listen to the heartbeat of a people who built their world to match the sky. But for now, sink, float, sleep, and let time carry you until we return to the next turning of the wheel. The night has deepened. The stars above you drift like scattered pollen, and time still turns. You, slow, patient dot, like the ripples on still water. You feel it now, not as numbers, not as ticking seconds, but as motion. A breath, being. And from that stillness, another place begins to rise. At first, it's only a shimmer, a warmth on the wind, a faint echo of stone beneath your bare feet. But then it becomes clearer. The sacred city, the crown of the valley, the heart of an empire carved by stars and fire. Tenochtitlan, you stand now, not among trees, but at the center of an ancient dream, a city on a lake, mirror in still water, built on islands, connected by long causeways that stretch across the glimmering blue. Temples rise before you, tall, layer their stone steps kissed by the fading sun, and at their peak, offerings are made. Smoke spirals upward, like fingers calling to the heavens. But this is not chaos, not noise, not random stone. Every part of this city breathes in rhythm, built in harmony with time itself. The temples align with solstices. The streets point to sacred mountains. The market opens not on whim, but on chosen days. Because even here, even in stone, the calendars speak. You walk slowly, following the sound of gentle drums, each beat like a heartbeat, steady, guided, and beneath your steps, you feel it again, that same ancient rhythm, that same sacred counting. Here in Tenochtitlan, time was not just watched, it was lived. Children were named based on their birthday, not Monday or Tuesday, but names drawn from the tonal Pohuali, names that meant wind, or flint, or serpent, not symbols, but destinies. And every 13 days, the energy of the world shifted. A new guardian spirit would rule, and people would adjust their hearts accordingly. To resist this rhythm would be to step out of the sacred dance, to become unbalanced, like a drumbeat out of time. You wander past the great temple, Templo Mayor. It rises like a mountain of stone and spirit. 2 stairways, 2 shrines, one to Tlaloc, the god of rain, the other to Huitzilopochtli, the sun and war. And yet, even these gods, even these temples followed the cycles, followed the calendars. Festivals were not chosen at random. They were timed, like the bloom of flowers, like the tides. And during these sacred moments, time itself felt thinner. The boundary between heaven and earth became soft. People danced, sang, burned offerings, not just to celebrate, but to renew, to recharge the sun, to remind the gods that humanity still listened, still honored the rhythm. Even the city's markets, its daily life, moved in measured cycles. 5-day weeks, 20-day months, each with its own flavor, its own feeling, its own hidden wisdom. The Aztec year was made of 18 months, each 20 days long. That's 360 days. But time was not allowed to be too neat, too exact. And so, at the end of each year, they added 5 empty days. Nemon Temi, unlucky, silent, days of reflection, days where work paused, where people stayed indoors, because in those days, time was between, unanchored, dangerous. They did not fear darkness, but disconnection, moments when time slipped. Home on tea, when the cycles faltered, you feel that delicate balance, A city not just built of stone and water, but of trust. Trust in time. In the distance, you see stone carvings. Circles within circles. Serpents swallowing their own tails. These are not decorations. They are a reminder that time devours itself and must be renewed, that beginnings and endings are the same breath, just drawn from different sides. And so they measured everything, not with fear, but with awe. They did not try to control time. They tried to understand it, to move with it, to echo it in their lives. And when a child was born, a priest would read the day, not just for celebration, but for insight. Would this child be a healer, a speaker, a dreamer, or one touched by fire and transformation? The calendar would whisper, and the people would listen. Every marriage, every war, every planting was timed with care, because to act out of step was to court misfortune. To move without the rhythm was to fall. And now, as you drift deeper into sleep, you understand. The question was never simply, why did the Aztecs have so many calendars? It was, why wouldn't they? Because life was layered. The body moves with the sun, the soul with the sacred days, the stars with the age of the sun, and the people with all of it. They needed many calendars, because they lived many lives. Each moment layered with meaning, each day a new cycle, each breath a chance to return. And you, resting now in the softness of night, are part of that cycle. Time holds you, like it held them, not with force, but with rhythm. The stars above Tenochtitlan shimmer. The lake reflects the heavens. The drums beat slower now, calling you not to ceremony, but to dreams. And when we return in part 5, we will follow those drums into the heart of a ritual. We'll step into the sacred fire festival, the binding of years, the moment when time was tested, when all fires were extinguished and the world held its breath to see if the sun would rise again. But for now, let your breath be the only calendar. Let your pulse follow the path of stars. Let your sleep become part of the cycle. Time turns. You drift, and the dream continues. The drums have quieted now. The city of Tenochtitlan fades gently behind your closed eyes. And yet, the story does not end, because time in the Aztec world was not just a count of days. It was a living thread woven through everything, a sacred breath, a slow turning wheel. Tonight, we travel deeper into the heart of a ritual, the moment when the calendar's power is tested, the new fire ceremony every 52 years, when the two great calendars aligned once more. The people paused. The sun's warmth was questioned. The flame that had burned for decades was extinguished. Silence fell. Darkness stretched its quiet cloak over cities, lakes, and mountains. No fires burned, no light flickered. For days, the world held its breath, and the priests climbed to the highest mountain, with eyes trained on the stars and the horizon, waiting, watching, if the new fire could be lit, if the sacred spark could be found. Then time would continue. The world would live on. If not, all would end. This ceremony was not just about fire. It was about trust. Trust in the cycles, in the gods, in the delicate balance that held everything together. Imagine standing among the crowd, feeling the cold night air brush your skin, your breath forming small clouds in the darkness. You look up, the sky is vast, filled with countless stars. The silence is complete, and then a priest lights a flame from a fire drill, spinning wood into smoke and spark. The fire catches, a small flicker, then a growing blaze. Cheers rise softly. The world exhales. The sun will rise again. Time turns forward. The people rush to light their torches. Each flame a promise. Each spark a thread tying past to future. Because the Aztecs knew that time was fragile. That life depended on these moments of renewal. And so the many calendars, the solar, the sacred, the planetary, were not mere tools. They were lifelines. They held the pulse of the sun, the breath of the earth, the whisper of the gods. They shaped festivals, births, battles, and endings. They guided the people through uncertainty, and beneath the stone and sky, in their hearts, they carried the circle of time, the wheel that never stops turning. Now, as your breath slows, your body softens, and your mind drifts. Remember this, that ancient trust in cycles, in the sacred dance of days and nights, is still with us. It lives in the turning seasons, in the rising and setting sun, in the quiet beating of your heart. Let it cradle you now, soft and slow, like the gentle turning of a great ancient wheel. And when you awaken, the story will be waiting to continue. Until then, sleep, rest, and dream. The night has deepened into silence. Around you, the world holds its breath, suspended in a timeless moment. And in that stillness, a single thought stirs. What does it mean to live inside the endless circle of time? The Aztecs believed that every day was a living being, a breath of spirit flowing through the world. Each sunrise, a new birth. Each sunset, a gentle death. Their calendars woven together like threads in a sacred clock did more than mark passing days. They were the language of the cosmos, the heartbeat of creation itself. We have journeyed through the cycles, the solar count, the sacred days, the rising and setting of Venus, the fearful pause of the new fire ceremony. Now, let us walk quietly into the sacred city again, not just to see, but to feel, to hear the whispers of stone and shadow, and understand how time shaped a civilization's soul. The streets of Tenochtitlan were not random. They were mapped to the heavens, aligned with stars and seasons, each step measured with reverence. As you wander, imagine the soft crunch of your feet on crushed stone, the faint scent of copal incense drifting on the breeze, the distant murmur of voices singing praises to gods unseen. The Templo Mayor rises before you, its twin shrines reaching upward like two arms embracing the sky, one for Huitzilopochtli, the warrior sun god, the other for Tlaloc, lord of rain and fertility. Here, time was a constant dance of opposing forces, fire and water, war and peace, life and death, each holding equal weight in the delicate balance of the world. The carved stone steps of the temple tell stories of ancient suns, of cycles ended in jaguars' teeth and storms' fury, of rebirth and destruction, intertwined like vines. At the base, the great stone calendar, the sun stone, waits quietly. Its carved face gazes out, mouth open, in a silent song, a tongue shaped like a blade, tool that cuts time and space. It is a reminder. Time is both creation and destruction, a fierce, living power that must be honored and fed. The people lived in this sacred rhythm. Their births, marriages, battles, and deaths were all timed according to the cycles. A child's destiny was whispered by the day they entered the world, the number and symbol drawn from the sacred 260-day calendar, guiding their path like a gentle hand. Every festival was a step in the great dance, each sacrifice a prayer cast into the turning sky. The new fire ceremony was the most sacred, a moment of complete pause, when the world seemed to hold its breath between heartbeats. Fires were extinguished, darkness ruled, and then new flames were born, each new spark a promise that the sun would rise again, that time would turn forward once more. Imagine yourself there, among the flickering torchlight, the smell of burning copal, the heavy silence before the new fire bursts into life. You watch the priests move slowly, deliberately, hands steady as they coax sparks from dry wood, the entire world waiting for this moment to become real again. And then a flicker, a glow, a flame. The city exhales, the drums beat once more, the wheel of time turns again. Now, in this quiet moment, feel the ancient pulse move through you. Time's soft, turning wheel, echoing inside your chest. Your breath follows the rhythm. Your heart keeps the beat. You are part of this cycle, as the Aztecs were, as the stars are, and as sleep draws you deeper. Let the sacred calendars carry you through dreams, through the spiral of night into the dawn of rest. For this is the slow magic of time, a gentle turning, an endless return, and the story is not yet over. When we meet again, we will step into the songs and prayers sung beneath the stars, discover the secrets whispered in the rhythms of water and wind, and trace the delicate threads that bind the past, present, and future. But for now, rest. Breathe. Let yourself drift. The circle turns, and so do you. The quiet of night lingers still. Your breath deepens, slow and steady, as the world turns gently outside your window. In the soft folds of time, the story continues, woven by stars and shadows, by whispers carried on the wind. We find ourselves now, once again, in the heart of the ancient city, Tenochtitlan. The streets here hum with memory. Beneath your feet, the stones remember footsteps long gone. Voices rise faintly, carried by the soft evening breeze, songs of praise and reverence. There, at the city's core, rises the great temple, the Templo Mayor, a mountain of stone reaching for the heavens. Two shrines stand side by side, one to the sun and war god, Huitzilopochtli, the other to Tlaloc, god of rain and fertility. This temple is more than stone and mortar. It is a meeting place of worlds, the earthly and the divine, the seen and the unseen. Here, the sacred calendars come alive, not as mere records, but as living patterns, guiding the rhythms of existence itself. You feel the steady beat of drums, soft at first, then growing, a slow heartbeat pulsing through the night. The rhythm moves through the crowd, binding them in a shared breath, a collective heartbeat since to the turning wheel of time. Each beat is a call to remember, to honor the cycles of birth and death, of light and darkness, of creation and destruction. The dancers move gracefully, their steps tracing the ancient paths, each gesture a prayer, each movement a thread in the web of time. In the flickering torchlight, shadows dance across faces, young and old, warriors and priests, mothers and children. The air is thick with the scent of copal, a fragrant smoke rising to the heavens, carrying prayers and hopes upward, melding earth with sky. You close your eyes and listen to the murmur of voices, the steady drumbeat, the whispered prayers woven into the night. The calendars guided not only festivals, but a moment of life. A child's destiny was read from the day they were born, their name chosen from the sacred days, each imbued with meaning and power. Weddings were timed to honor the cycles, wars planned with the stars in mind, and harvests celebrated as gifts from the gods. Time was not a simple line, but a spiral, ever turning, ever returning. The great 260-day sacred calendar, the tonal pohuali, was paired with the 365-day solar calendar, the shu pohuali, their cycles weaving together like threads in a tapestry. Every 52 years, these two calendars aligned, marking a new cycle, a moment of profound significance, the turning of the great wheel. This was the time of the new fire ceremony, when the sun's flame was extinguished and then rekindled, a powerful symbol of renewal, of life triumphing over darkness. The Aztecs knew that time was fragile, a living force that needed constant tending. Their many calendars were not confusion, but profound understanding, a reflection of the complexity of the cosmos and their place within it. They lived in harmony with cycles, day and night, life and death, war and peace, birth and rebirth, and in doing so, they wove their lives into the fabric of time itself. As your breath grows softer, your body heavier, you feel yourself becoming part of this vast, endless cycle, the turning of the stars, the rising of the sun, the slow dance of the moon, all pulse within you, a gentle rhythm to carry you deeper into rest. Let this rhythm cradle you now, like the soft beating of a drum in the distance, a lullaby from an ancient world. When we meet again, we will explore the mysteries hidden in the sacred glyphs, the stories carved in stone, and the secrets whispered in the wind. Until then, sleep peacefully, drift softly, and dream deeply, for time, ever turning, will carry you safely through the night. The night deepens further. Around you, the world seems to breathe quietly, in tune with an ancient pulse, slow and steady, like the turning of a great stone wheel. In this stillness, the story unfolds once more, a story told not only in words, but in symbols carved on stone, in whispers carried by the wind, and in the soft rhythm of footsteps on ancient paths. Now, imagine yourself walking slowly through the sacred spaces of Tenochtitlan. The air is cool, filled with the scent of earth and burning copal. Your feet brush over smooth stones, worn by countless journeys. The paths of priests, warriors and dreamers alike. Ahead rises the great temple, its twin shrines piercing the sky like silent sentinels. The carved faces of gods stare down, their eyes watching over the cycles of time. Each carving tells a story, a fragment of the cosmos, a piece of the great calendar that governs all things. Among the most sacred of these stories are those told by the glyphs, symbols etched deep into the stone surfaces, each one alive with meaning. There's the serpent, winding endlessly, its body looping in an eternal spiral. The jaguar, fierce and silent, guardian of the night and the underworld. The eagle, soaring high, messenger between earth and sky. These glyphs are not mere decoration. They are a language, a way to speak with the gods, a map of time's complex dance. The Aztec calendars were a weave of cycles, each with its own rhythm and meaning. The Tonopouali, a 260-day sacred calendar, marked days not just by numbers, but by spirit and fate. Each day carried a unique energy, a guardian deity, and a meaning whispered in the stars. Paired with this was the Shu Pohuai, a 365-day solar calendar, divided into 18 months of 20 days each, plus 5 empty days, days of reflection and stillness. Together, these calendars created a rhythm, complex, interlocking cycle that governed everything from planting to prayer. Every moment in the Aztec world was marked, measured, and honored. Births were celebrated on days chosen by the calendars, each child's name a blessing, a destiny written in the stars. Marriages were timed to align with cycles of fertility and fortune. Wars were planned to ensure victory under favorable signs. The people lived within these cycles, aware that to step outside them was to risk imbalance, to upset the fragile harmony of the universe. The most sacred time was the 52-year cycle, when the two calendars realigned, signaling a turning of the great cosmic wheel. At this moment, the new fire ceremony was held, a ritual of renewal, when all fires across the land were extinguished and the old flame was rekindled anew. This was a moment of great tension and hope. Would the sun continue its path? Would life flow onward? Or would the world fall into darkness? Imagine standing in the dark, the city silent and still, the air thick with anticipation. Priests gather atop the highest hill, their eyes scanning the horizon, their hands trembling slightly as they prepare to spark the new flame. A single spark flies, a flicker of light in the darkness. The flame grows, fierce, alive, a promise of life to come. The people below breathe out in relief and joy. Time will continue. The sun will rise again. This sacred cycle was a reminder that time is not simply measured in seconds or days, but lived in breath, in ceremony, in shared hope. The many calendars of the Aztecs were more than tools. They were expressions of a deep, living relationship with time, a bond between the earth and sky, between gods and humans, between past and future. As your body softens, your breath slows, and your mind drifts, feel yourself becoming part of this vast cosmic dance, turning of the great wheel, the rise and fall of suns, the endless cycle of life and death. Let this rhythm carry you deeper into rest, a gentle lullaby from an ancient world. When we meet again, we will delve into the sacred festivals, the prayers whispered beneath the stars, and the eternal stories woven through the Aztec year. But for now, sleep, dream, and rest cradled by time's endless embrace. The night stretches on, quiet and deep. Outside, the world breathes softly, carried on the gentle rhythm of the turning cosmos. Inside this calm, our journey through time's quiet layers continues. The story of the Aztecs and their many calendars unfolds like a slowly spinning spiral, inviting you to drift further into the dream of the past. Imagine now the heart of the city again, the vibrant marketplace, alive with the muted sounds of morning, voices rising softly, footsteps weaving through stalls heavy with colors and scents, the rich smell of maize and chili peppers, freshly ground cacao beans, and the subtle earthiness of drying herbs. Here, beneath the wide open sky, time is measured not only by days or numbers, but by the pulse of life itself, the rhythm of markets, festivals, and ceremonies, woven intricately into the fabric of daily existence. The sacred calendars guided all things. They dictated when to plant seeds, when to harvest, and when to celebrate the gifts of the earth. Each festival was a doorway, a moment when the veil between worlds thinned and the people could touch the divine. One such festival, the festival of the sun, honor Huitzilopochtli, the fierce sun god who carried the world's fire across the sky, the air filled with the rhythmic beating of drums, echoing like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Dancers adorned in vibrant feathers moved in time, their bodies telling stories as old as the stars. The calendars were not separate, but layered like the rings of a mighty tree, each ring marking a season, a spirit, a step in the endless cycle of renewal. The tonal pohuali marked the sacred days, the spiritual heartbeat of the Aztec year. Each day carried a unique energy, a god or goddess watching over, and a meaning whispered to those who would listen. The Ishupohuali, the solar calendar, tracked the passage of the sun through the sky, dividing the year into 18 months of 20 days, plus 5 nameless days, times for reflection and quiet. The dance of these calendars created a rhythm, a sacred harmony that bound people to the cosmos. This rhythm was felt in every heartbeat, in every breath, in every prayer lifted to the sky. It was the pulse of life itself, steady and unending. Imagine the priests preparing for a ceremony, their faces painted with vibrant pigments, their robes heavy with symbols of power. They move through the city with purpose, carrying sacred bundles, tools of divination, and offerings to the gods. The people gather, hushed and reverent, as the priests call forth the power of the calendars, invoking the spirits of days past and the promise of days yet to come. The new fire ceremony remains the pinnacle, a ritual of renewal and hope. Every 52 years, when the cycles aligned perfectly, the people would extinguish all fires. Darkness would swallow the land, and the world would seem to pause. Then, from the highest peak, a spark would be coaxed from wood, the flame that would rekindle the sun itself. The city would breathe again, time would turn, and life would continue. This cycle of destruction and renewal, of ending and beginning, is at the heart of the Aztec worldview. Time is not a line, but a circle, ever turning, ever returning. Each moment is both an end and a beginning, a place to rest and to rise again. As you sink deeper into sleep, feel this great circle turn inside you. Your breath matches the ancient rhythm. Your heart beats the eternal song. You are a part of this dance, connected through the ages to those who watched the skies, who listened to the whispers of time, and who lived with the sacred calendars close to their souls. When we meet again, we will journey through the sacred festivals, explore the prayers woven into the days, and listen to the silent stories carved in stone. Until then, rest gently, dream deeply, and let the slow turning of time carry you safely through the night. The world around you grows softer still. As the layers of night settle deeply, time seems to stretch, not forward, but outward, like ripples in a quiet pond. And in this vast stillness, we step further into the heart of the Aztec understanding of time. Imagine once again the great city of Tenochtitlan, a bustling center of life and ceremony. Though the sun has long since set, the city pulses faintly with an inner light, torches flickering along stone streets, the quiet murmur of prayers rising softly into the sky. The scent of copal incense lingers, heavy and sweet, weaving through the cool night air. You feel the smooth stone beneath your fingertips, worn by countless hands reaching up to touch the divine. The calendars of the Aztecs were not merely instruments to measure time, but sacred guides, maps to the soul of the universe. Each day, each month, each cycle was alive with meaning, a living breath carried gently on the wind. The Tonopouhuali, with its 260-day cycle, wove together the energies of days and spirit, a complex web of destiny and fate, a rhythm to which all life danced. Paired with it, the Shupohuali, the solar calendar, tracked the passage of the sun, the slow journey of light across the sky. Together they spun the great wheel of time. Within these cycles, the Aztecs found order amidst chaos. They knew the world was fragile, that the balance between life and death was delicate. To honor the cycles was to honor life itself. This understanding shaped every aspect of their existence, from the planting of maize to the timing of sacred rituals to the naming of a child born beneath the watchful eyes of the gods. The festivals marked on these calendars were not mere celebrations, but powerful acts of renewal. The feast of Toxcatl, for example, was a time to honor Tezcatlipoca, the god of the night sky, and faith in the warm glow of flickering fires. Music filled the air, the haunting sound of flutes, the steady beat of drums, carrying prayers into the deep night. Dancers adorned in feathers and painted masks moved gracefully, their steps telling ancient stories. Each ritual was a thread in the vast tapestry of time. The Panquetzalistli, a festival dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, marked the beginning of the year. It was a time of fire and song, when the sun god's power was called forth to bring light and warmth. Priests climbed the Great Pyramid, offering precious gifts and prayers to the heavens below. The people watched in reverent silence, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath their feet, the heartbeat of the sacred calendar. This sacred rhythm was a living force. It connected the people to the gods, to the earth, to the sky, and to each other. It promised that despite darkness, despite endings, there would always be a new dawn. The calendars told this story, not just in numbers, but in the beating hearts of the people who lived by them. Imagine now the slow turning of a great wheel, its rim carved with symbols and glyphs, each one a story, a moment, a prayer. This wheel never stops turning. It carries the sun across the sky, the moon through the night, and all of us through the endless dance of time. As you feel your breath deepen, your body soften, and your mind drift toward rest, let this ancient rhythm carry you. Let the sacred calendars guide you gently into sleep, a place where time folds softly, where dreams blend with the endless cycle of night and day. And when you awaken, the story will be waiting, ready to continue its slow, steady unfolding. For time is a river without end, and we are carried together on its gentle current. Rest now, breathe softly, and dream of the turning wheel. The quiet night deepens further, wrapping the world in a soft blanket of stillness. Your breath slows, your body sinks deeper into comfort, and the story unfolds gently once more. We find ourselves drawn again to the great city of Tenochtitlan, a place of stone and spirit, where the pulse of time beats strong and steady. Beneath the vast sky, the city hums with a quiet life. Stone temples rise like ancient mountains, their faces etched with stories as old as the stars. The soft glow of torches flickers against carved walls, casting dancing shadows that play upon the stones, whispering secrets to those who listen with still hearts. The air carries the faint scent of burning copal, a fragrance that threads through the night like a gentle prayer, binding earth to sky, past to present. At the heart of this sacred space stands the sunstone, the great Aztec calendar carved into volcanic rock. Its intricate patterns spiral outward, a map of time's endless cycles, each glyph a pulse in the universe's heartbeat. Trace the carved lines slowly with your mind's eye, feeling the weight of countless suns and moons turning in rhythm, the slow dance of days and nights, weaving the fabric of life. The calendars were more than tools. They were living stories. The Tonopo Huali, the 260-day sacred calendar, spoke not just of days, but of spirits, fate, and destiny. Each day was watched over by a god, each moment filled with meaning, an invitation to live in harmony with the cycles of the cosmos. Paired with it was the Shupohuali, the solar calendar of 365 days, marking the passage of the sun through the sky, dividing the year into 18 months of 20 days, plus 5 extra days, times of quiet reflection and renewal. Together, these calendars intertwined like vines, spiraling around each other in a sacred embrace, creating a complex rhythm that shaped life itself, from planting seeds in fertile soil to calling forth the rains, to honoring the sun's fiery journey. The Aztecs lived in tune with these rhythms. Imagine the soft thrum of drums rising in the distance, the slow, steady beat calling the people to gather. Priests and dancers move with deliberate grace, their bodies painted with vibrant colors, feathers catching the flickering light of torches. Their movements tell stories of creation and destruction, of life and death, woven seamlessly into the great circle of time. Festivals mark the sacred calendars turning, each one a doorway between worlds. The feast of Tlaxoquimako celebrates the flowering of the earth, a time when the fields burst into bloom, and the people give thanks for the gifts of the land. The festival of Tezcatlipoca honors the night sky's mysterious lord, whose gaze holds the secrets of fate and change. At the center of these cycles stands the new fire ceremony, the moment when time itself is renewed. Every 52 years, the Aztec people extinguished all fires, pausing as the two great calendars aligned. Darkness swallowed the land. Silence ruled the cities and fields. Then, atop the highest mountain, priests kindled the new flame, a spark that promised life, hope, and the turning of the great wheel once more. Imagine standing among the crowd as the new fire bursts into light, the glow spreading quickly through the night, torches flaring, hearts rising in a shared breath of relief. The world exhales. Time moves forward. Life begins anew. As your breath deepens, your body melts into softness, and your mind drifts with the turning of the great wheel. You are part of this eternal rhythm, linked through time and space. To those who lived, dreamed, and honored the sacred cycles, let the gentle pulse of the calendars carry you now, like a lullaby sung by the stars, rocking you into peaceful sleep. And when you awake, the story will wait for you, patient and endless. Until then, rest, dream, and be carried gently on time's slow, steady current. The night deepens once more, folding around you like a soft, dark cloak. The steady rhythm of your breath guides you gently forward into the heart of the ancient world. We return to the sacred city, Tenochtitlan alive, in the fading light of a dying day, where stone and spirit merge. The air is cool and still, tinged with the earthy scent of damp stone and drying moss. Faint whispers drift through the narrow streets, soft voices of ancestors carried on the breeze. The towering pyramids cast long shadows, their edges softened by twilight. The setting sun paints the sky in hues of deep orange and violet, a final tender kiss before the night fully descends. At the center of this world stands the Templo Mayor, the great double pyramid that reaches upward, piercing the sky with its sharp angles, each stone carved with symbols of gods and time, each step a silent hymn to the cycles of life and death. The temple is more than stone. It is a living pulse, a sacred meeting place of earth and sky, of the mortal and the divine. The calendars live here too, not just in carved stones and glyphs, but in the very rhythm of the city's life. The Tonopohuali whispers in the rustling leaves, its 260-day cycle, a hidden heartbeat beneath the daily bustle. Each day carries a spirit, a guiding force shaping the destinies of men and gods alike. Beside it, the Shupohuali marches steadily, its 365 days, marking the journey of the sun through seasons of planting and harvest, through festivals and quiet reflection. Together, these calendars weave a sacred dance, binding the people to the eternal flow of time. Imagine the city as twilight deepens, the air growing cool and fragrant with burning copal, the soft murmur of prayers rises, carried by flickering torchlight. Priests move slowly through the plazas, their robes heavy with feathers and embroidered symbols, their faces painted in vivid reds and blacks, eyes calm and focused, reflecting the glow of sacred fires around them. The people gather, hearts beating in quiet anticipation. The festivals mark the turning of the wheel, each one a step along the spiral of the year. The festival of Sokotohuitzi celebrates the ripening of fruit, a time when the earth offers its sweetness, and the people give thanks with song and dance. The feast of Hui Tozazili honors the great mother goddess, the giver of life and nurturer of crops. During this time, the air fills with music, the gentle rhythm of drums and flutes weaving through the night. Time itself was a sacred cycle, not linear, but circular, endless and renewing. The Aztecs understood this deeply, living their lives in harmony with the great cosmic wheel. The calendars were their guides, mapping the journey of the sun, the moon, and the stars, and shaping every moment of their existence. The most profound moment in this endless dance was the new fire ceremony, when the world paused and time itself seemed to hold breath. Every 52 years, the two great calendars aligned perfectly, marking the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. All fires were extinguished. Darkness blanketed the land. Then, from the highest peak, priests kindled the new flame, a spark of hope, a promise that life would continue. Imagine standing among the crowd as the new fire ignites, the flames spreading swiftly, torches lighting up the night, hearts rising in unison. The city breathes again. Time turns forward, and life flows onward, carried on the sacred rhythms of the calendars. As your breath deepens and your body softens, feel yourself become part of this eternal cycle. The slow turning of the great wheel, the rising and setting of suns, the endless dance of life and death. Let this ancient rhythm carry you gently into sleep, cradled by the sacred pulse of time, and when you awaken, the story will wait for you, patient and endless. Rest now, dream deeply, and be carried softly on time's gentle current. The night holds you softly now, wrapped in its deep, velvety quiet. Your breath is calm, steady like the slow pulse of the earth beneath your feet. In this sacred stillness, our journey returns to the heart of the Aztec world, a place where time is felt more than seen, where the turning of the great wheel is echoed in every breath, every step. Imagine the city at dawn, the first light filtering softly through a misted sky. Stone pyramids stand silent and majestic, their edges softened by the gentle touch of morning. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of earth and blooming flowers, the fragrance of life waking slowly. The city stirs, a quiet murmur rising from winding streets as the people begin their day in harmony with the sacred cycles. At the center of this living world lies the ancient calendar stone, its intricate carvings a map of cosmic order. Run your mind gently over its patterns, the spirals, the faces, the glyphs, each a pulse in the eternal rhythm of time. The tonal pohuali, with its sacred 260 days, whispers secrets of fate and spirit, a hidden language of gods and mortals intertwined. Shupohuali, the solar calendar of 365 days, marks the journey of the sun through the sky, dividing the year into months and seasons, each a step in the endless dance of renewal. Together, these calendars are threads woven into the fabric of Aztec life. They guide planting and harvesting, births and marriages, battles and ceremonies. Every day is alive with meaning, a step along the great spiral of time, where endings become beginnings, and beginnings flow seamlessly into endings. Picture the vibrant festivals that mark the sacred rhythm, the dance of colors, music, and light that fills the plazas and temples. The festival of Tlacaxipehualistli, celebrating the god Sipi Totec, brings renewal through sacrifice and rebirth. Flames flicker against painted faces, while dancers move with slow, purposeful grace, echoing the cycles of death and life. The feast of Panquetzalistli, honoring Huitzilopochtli, the sun and war god, calls forth the power of fire and courage. Priests ascend the great pyramids, offering prayers that rise like smoke into the vast sky. The calendars are the heartbeat beneath it all, a rhythm that connects the people, the earth, and the heavens. Time is not a river flowing in one direction, but a great wheel turning endlessly, bringing forth light from darkness, life from death, order from chaos. The sacred cycles remind us that every ending is a new beginning, and every beginning holds the seed of an ending. Imagine standing in the cool shadow of the temple, feeling the stone beneath your hand, ancient, worn, yet alive with energy. The carvings seem to pulse softly, a silent song of stars and seasons, whispering truths carried across centuries. You breathe in deeply, letting the rhythm of the calendars settle into your bones. The most profound moment comes once every 52 years, when the two great calendars align, and the world seems to pause between heartbeats. The new fire ceremony begins, a moment of darkness and light, fear and hope, death and rebirth. Fires are extinguished across the land. Silence falls like a heavy blanket. Then, from the highest peak, priests kindle the new flame, a spark that promises the turning wheel will continue. Imagine a crowd gathered beneath the stars, the air thick with anticipation. The new fire bursts to life, a sudden glow spreading through the darkness. Torches flare, voices rise in song, and the great wheel of time begins to turn once more. As you feel your breath deepen, your body sink, and your mind drift, let the sacred rhythm carry you gently into sleep. A slow turning, an endless returning. You are part of the cycle, a thread woven into the vast tapestry of time. When we meet again, we will journey deeper into the mysteries of the Aztec calendars, exploring the hidden meanings, the divine connections, and the stories etched in stone and spirit. Until then, rest peacefully, dream deeply, and let time's gentle pulse carry you through the night. The quiet night lingers softly around you, folding you gently into its warm embrace. Your breath moves slowly, in rhythm with the endless turning of time's great wheel, As we continue, imagine yourself standing once again before the great Aztec sunstone, the calendar stone, its surface alive with carvings that pulse beneath your gaze. Trace the intricate spirals, each glyph a story whispered through centuries. Feel the roughness of the volcanic rock under your fingertips, cool and solid, yet vibrating softly with ancient power. This stone is no mere calendar. It is a sacred map of the cosmos, a mirror reflecting the Aztec understanding of the universe. The carvings speak of the birth of the world, the cycles of creation and destruction, and the eternal dance of suns rising and falling. Notice the central face, the fierce visage of Tonatiuh, the sun god, his tongue a stone blade, symbolizing sacrifice and renewal. Around him, the ring of day signs turns like a great wheel. Each day, a unique spirit, a guardian of fate. This ring is a cycle, never ending, always returning. The Aztecs saw time as a living force, a spiral rather than a line. The past flows into the present, which flows into the future, all woven together in an eternal dance. Multiple calendars existed not out of confusion, but out of deep understanding, each serving a purpose, each layer revealing a different aspect of time's nature. The tonal Pohuali, sacred and mysterious, governed destiny and spiritual matters. Its 260 days were divided into periods ruled by gods, each day carrying a unique power, guiding the lives and fates of people. The Shupohawali, tied to the sun and earth, tracked agricultural cycles and seasons. Its 365 days marked the year, reminding all of the passage of life, growth, and decay. Together, these calendars formed a harmonious whole, binding the human and divine, the earthly and celestial. Imagine now the soft crackle of fires burning during sacred festivals, the gentle flicker of torches casting shadows on stone walls. The scent of burning opal incense curls through the night air, thick and sweet, weaving a fragrant veil around the people gathered. Their faces glow softly in the firelight, eyes closed in prayer or open in reverence, as drums beat a slow, steady rhythm, the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. The calendar was not only a way to mark days, but a guide to living in harmony with the universe. Held patience, respect, and balance, the importance of aligning human actions with the flow of nature and spirit. Time was a sacred gift, and every moment an opportunity for renewal. As the great wheel turns, so too do the seasons shift and change. The planting of maize, the rains falling softly on fertile earth, the harvest gathering life's sweet rewards, all flow within the cycles the calendars revealed. The people watch the skies, not just for weather, but for meaning. for signs from the gods, for guidance on when to act and when to wait. The Aztec understanding of time was a tapestry woven from many threads, each vibrant with meaning. It was a dance of life and death, of light and shadow, of endings and beginnings, all held within the sacred cycles. As your breath deepens, feel yourself becoming part of this great cosmic rhythm, the endless turning of the wheel, the slow dance of suns and moons. Let this rhythm cradle you gently, rocking you into peaceful sleep, where dreams drift softly on the currents of time. When you awaken, the story will continue, inviting you to step further into the mysteries, to hear the whispers of stone and star, and to walk once more among the sacred cycles. For now, rest deeply, dream gently, and let time's eternal pulse carry you through the night. The night is deepening, wrapping itself around you like a velvet curtain drawn slowly across a stage. Your breath is steady and slow, matching the timeless rhythms that have carried countless souls through ages long past. In this quiet, suspended moment, we turn our gaze once more to the sacred city of Tenno. Imagine the soft light of early dawn brushing the horizon, painting the sky in pale washes of pink and gold. The great pyramids stand in tranquil majesty, their ancient stones glowing warmly in the early light. A gentle breeze stirs the air, carrying with it the faint fragrance of earth warmed by the rising sun and the sweet aroma of blossoming flowers. The people begin to stir, their movements slow and deliberate, in tune with the subtle shifts of the natural world around them. Their lives are woven deeply into the fabric of the calendars, those sacred instruments, not only marking time, but guiding every breath, every step, every ritual. Each day carries weight and meaning. The tonal pohuale breathes life into the moments. It's 260 days shaping the spiritual landscape, where gods and mortals dance together in an intricate pattern of fate and destiny. The Shupohuali, moving alongside, grounds the people in the solar cycle, measuring the seasons, the rains, the harvests, the very heartbeat of the earth. Imagine the sound of distant drums, a slow and steady cadence, echoing across plazas where stone meets sky, the soft murmur of voices rising in song and prayer intertwines with the natural chorus of birds awakening, insects buzzing gently, and the rustle of leaves stirred by morning breezes. This soundscape is the living pulse of a civilization in harmony with the cosmos. Amid the temples and marketplaces, the calendars are alive. Their presence is felt in every seed planted in the soil, in every offering laid at the feet of gods, in every whispered prayer for guidance and protection. The Aztecs understood time not as a line marching forward, but as a circle endlessly turning, a sacred spiral weaving beginnings and endings into one seamless flow. The rituals that mark the turning of the calendars are profound acts of renewal. The new fire ceremony, held every 52 years, is the ultimate testament to this understanding. The world holds its breath as all fires are extinguished, and darkness blankets the land. Then, atop the highest mountain, a single flame is kindled, a spark that reignites the sun and breathes life back into the world. The city pulses once more with light and hope. Feel yourself carried on this sacred current. Your heartbeat slows to match the steady turning of the wheel. Your breath deepens in time with the eternal cycles. You become part of this vast tapestry, woven through with the threads of stars and seasons, light and shadow, life and death. As the night deepens around you, let these rhythms rock you gently into rest. Let the sacred calendars guide your dreams, where time folds softly, and the mysteries of the past whisper their timeless songs. When you awaken, the story will continue patient, endless, waiting to unfold once more. For now, rest in the slow turning of the great cosmic wheel. Dream deeply and be carried gently on time's eternal flow. The darkness around you deepens, but there is no fear. Hear only the quiet embrace of night, soft and infinite. Your breath flows slow and steady, like the gentle waves of a calm sea, carrying you farther into the depths of time's great mystery. Imagine yourself once more beneath the vast sky of Tenochtitlan, where stars shimmer faintly against the inky blackness, like distant fires scattered across the heavens. The city sleeps, wrapped in the hush of night, but the pulse of the calendars continues without pause, an unbroken rhythm, steady as a heartbeat. The sacred calendars are not mere tools for counting days. They are living guides, woven into the very soul of the Aztec people. The Tonalpohualli, with its 260-day cycle, speaks in whispers of destiny and divine will. Each day carries a spirit, a presence that shapes the lives of all who walk the earth. The Shupohualli, marked by the journey of the sun, tracks the seasons' ebb and flow, the planting, the growing, the harvesting, the quiet days when the earth rests and renews. Together, these calendars form a sacred dance, a spiral of time, turning endlessly, binding the heavens, the earth, and the people. Feel the slow turning of this great cosmic wheel. Hear the soft murmur of prayers, carried by the night breeze, mingling with the distant sound of drums, a deep, resonant pulse that echoes across stone plazas. The air is thick with the scent of burning copal, sweet and fragrant, rising like a bridge between worlds, connecting mortal hearts to divine presence. Picture the priests preparing for the sacred ceremonies, their movements measured and deliberate, their faces painted with vibrant colors, symbols of the gods etched onto their skin. They carry bundles of sacred herbs and offerings, their robes rustling softly as they move through the silent city. Around them, the people gather quietly, their eyes reflecting the flickering torchlight, their hearts beating in unison with the rhythm of time itself. The festivals are not mere celebrations. They are profound acts of cosmic harmony, moments when the veil between worlds thins and the divine flows freely into the earthly realm. The festival of Telakaxipeo calls forth renewal through sacrifice, a sacred surrender to the cycles of life and death. The feast of Panquetzalistli honors the sun and war god, invoking strength and courage for the coming year. Each ritual is a thread in the vast tapestry of time, woven with intention and reverence. Imagine standing beneath the Great Pyramid as the sun rises, its first light spilling over the stone steps, painting the world in hues of gold and amber. The city awakens, its breath slow and steady, in perfect harmony with the turning of the great wheel. The people move through their day, guided by the calendars, living in rhythm with the sacred cycles. The calendars teach a sacred truth, that time is not a river flowing in one direction, but a circle of turning endlessly, bringing endings and beginnings into eternal embrace. Each day is both a gift and a responsibility, a moment to honor the past and step gently toward the future. The Aztecs understood this deeply, their lives a constant dance with the sacred flow of time. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, let the slow, steady turning of the calendar's great wheel carry you gently into sleep. Let the rhythms of suns and moons, the whispers of gods and ancestors, rock you softly into dream. You are part of this endless cycle, woven into the fabric of the cosmos, and when you awaken, the story will be ready to unfold once more, patient and eternal. For now, rest deeply, dream quietly, and let time's sacred pulse carry you through the night. The quiet night stretches endlessly, a vast expanse of velvet shadow and silver stars. Your breath flows in calm, slow waves, rising, falling in harmony with the ancient rhythms we follow. The world of Tenochtitlan rests beneath the celestial canopy, its stone pyramids silent sentinels watching over the land. The air is cool and still, filled with the scent of damp earth and faint hints of burning copal, lingering like a gentle promise. As we move deeper into the sacred understanding of time, picture the great calendar stone once more, a masterpiece carved from volcanic rock, its surface alive with symbols and stories etched in deep relief. The center holds the face of Tonatiuh, the sun god, whose fierce gaze commands the turning of days. His tongue, a sharp blade, reminds all of the sacrifices made to keep the world turning. A constant exchange of energy between the mortal and divine. Around him, concentric rings spiral outward, each adorned with day signs, glyphs, and sacred numbers are a celestial map of cycles within cycles. The calendars tell a story beyond mere timekeeping. They reveal the Aztec vision of the cosmos as a living, breathing whole. Time is fluid, cyclical, a never-ending spiral, where creation and destruction dance together, intertwined and inseparable. The Tonopohuali, sacred and enigmatic, marks 260 days of spiritual significance. Each day belongs to a god, each carrying unique energies that influence fate and destiny. The Shupahuali follows the sun's journey. It's 365 days, marking the earthly seasons, guiding agricultural cycles, rituals, and the ebb and flow of life itself. Imagine now the soft rustle of feathers as priests prepare for ceremony, their bodies adorned in bright colors and sacred symbols, the gentle clinking of obsidian blades, carried not for harm, but for ritual sacrifice, an offering to nourish the gods and ensure the balance of the universe. The scent of burning herbs curls through the air, sweet, earthy, grounding. Torches flicker, casting dancing shadows upon the ancient stones, as drums beat a slow, hypnotic rhythm, a heartbeat felt deep within the chest. The sacred festivals breathe life into the calendars, moments when the veil between worlds thins and the divine touches the mortal realm. The festival of Tlaxoquimacco celebrates the flowering earth, time of growth and gratitude, where offerings of fruit and flowers are made in thanks. The feast of Tezcatlipoca honors the god of fate and change, whose presence reminds all of the impermanence and mystery of life. Each festival is a step along the great spiral, a movement in the eternal dance of time. The new fire ceremony remains the most profound, a sacred moment every 52 years, when the two great calendars align and the world holds its breath. Fires are extinguished, darkness envelops the land, and silence reigns. Then, from the highest peak, a new flame is kindled, a spark of hope, life, and renewal. The city breathes again, bathed in the glow of rekindled light. Feel yourself drawn into this sacred cycle, the endless turning of the wheel, of the slow rhythm of suns and moons, of life and death, of endings folding softly into beginnings. Your breath deepens, your body relaxes, and your mind drifts gently on the currents of time. The calendars of the Aztecs were not simply instruments, they were living guides, connecting the earthly to the divine, the human to the cosmos. They remind us to live in harmony with the natural world, to honor cycles beyond our control, and to find peace in the eternal dance of time. As your eyes grow heavy, let this understanding wash over you like a soft wave pulling you into restful sleep. When you awaken, the story will be waiting, ready to unfold again, like the endless turning of the great cosmic wheel. Until then, rest deeply, dream softly, and be carried gently on time's eternal journey. The night is calm and endless, wrapped gently around you, like the softest blanket. Your breath moves slow and steady, in tune with the steady turning of the great cosmic wheel. The city of Tenochtitlan sleeps beneath a canopy of stars, its stone temples resting quietly in the cool night air. The scent of earth, mingled with sweet copal incense, drifts softly through the air, a quiet reminder of sacred ceremonies held long ago. The ancient calendars are not mere tools, but living maps of time and spirit. Their carvings pulse beneath your gaze, whispering secrets of cycles within cycles, the endless dance of suns, moons, and seasons. At the center lies Tonatiuh, the sun god, with his fierce gaze and stone blade tongue, symbolizing sacrifice and renewal, the eternal price paid to keep time turning. Around him, the rings of day signs circle endlessly, each glyph a guardian of fate and destiny. The Aztecs saw time as a spiral, not a line, beginnings and endings intertwined, each moment connected to the last and the next, woven into a sacred tapestry. 260-day Tonopohuwali spoke of spiritual forces guiding destinies and shaping the paths of gods and men alike. The 365-day Opohuwali marked the solar journey, tracking the seasons' rhythms, the planting and harvesting of maize, the lifeblood of a people. Together, these calendars formed the heartbeat of a civilization, a rhythm felt deep in the soul. Imagine the sound of distant drums, slow and deep, echoing through stone plazas. The flicker of torchlight dances across painted faces, while the scent of burning copal fills the air. Priests, adorned with vibrant feathers and sacred symbols, move with slow grace, their movements a prayer, an offering to the gods who govern time itself. The festivals that mark the calendar's turning are moments of profound connection, when earth and sky meet and the veil between worlds thins. Every 52 years, the new fire ceremony renews the world. Fires are extinguished, darkness envelops the land. Then, from the highest mountain, a single flame is kindled, a spark that rekindles life and hope. The city breathes again, time turns forward, and the great cosmic wheel continues its endless dance. Feel yourself drawn deeper into this sacred rhythm, carried gently on the eternal currents of time. Let your breath slow, your body soften, and your mind drift on the gentle waves of history. and myth. You are part of the endless cycle, woven into the fabric of the cosmos. When you awaken, the story will be waiting, patient, eternal, and full of mystery. For now, rest deeply, dream softly, and let time's sacred pulse carry you gently through the night. The night sky stretches vast and quiet, a velvet expanse dotted with countless stars. Your breath slows to a gentle rhythm, as if in time with the slow turning of the universe itself. Beneath this celestial canopy, the ancient city of Tenochtitlan lies silent, its stone temples bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. The air is cool and carries the faint scent of earth and blooming flowers, mixed with the lingering aroma of copal incense, a fragrant thread tying past to present. The great Aztec calendars stand as silent witnesses here, carved in stone with exquisite care. Each glyph and spiral, a story told in the language of the cosmos. Their surface is worn smooth by centuries of sun and rain, yet still alive with the pulse of sacred time. The central face of Tonatiuh, the sun god, gazes outward, fierce and commanding. His tongue, shaped like a stone blade, speaks of sacrifice, the sacred exchange required to keep the world in balance. Surrounding him, the rings of day signs circle endlessly, each symbol a guardian of fate and spirit. Each day, a step along the spiral path of time. The calendars are more than instruments. They are living maps, guides to a universe where time flows not as a line, but as a circle, an eternal spiral where beginnings and endings merge. The Tonopouhuali, with its 260-day cycle, whispers of spiritual forces and divine intention, shaping destinies and weaving the fabric of life. The Shupohuali, tracking the solar year's 365 days, marks the rhythms of planting and harvest, the sacred seasons of growth and rest. Together, these calendars form the heartbeat of Aztec life, a rhythm felt deep in the bones of the people. Imagine the soft sound of drums echoing through stone plazas, a slow, steady beat that resonates in your chest. The flicker of torchlight dances across painted faces, while the scent of burning copal weaves a fragrant veil through the night air. Priests move with measured grace, their robes embroidered with feathers and sacred symbols, their faces painted in vivid reds and blacks, eyes reflecting the flickering flames as they carry sacred offerings. Around them, the people gather quietly, their hearts beating in time with the ancient rhythm of the calendars. The festivals that mark the turning of the calendars are moments of profound connection, times when the veil between worlds thins and the divine flows into the earthly realm. The festival of Tli Glakaxipewalistli brings renewal through sacrifice, a sacred surrender to the cycles of life and death. The feast of Panquetzalistli honors Huitzilopochtli, the sun and war god, invoking strength and courage for the coming year. Each festival weaves another thread into the vast tapestry of time, a movement in the eternal dance that shapes all existence. And then there is the new fire ceremony, held every 52 years, when the two great calendars align perfectly. All fires are extinguished. Darkness falls like a heavy cloak over the land. Then, from the highest peak, a new flame is kindled, a spark of hope and renewal that rekindles life itself. The city breathes once more, bathed in the warm glow of rekindled fires. Time turns forward again. Feel yourself drawn into this sacred cycle, the endless turning of the great wheel, the slow dance of suns and moon, life and death, endings folding softly into beginnings. Your breath deepens, your body softens, and your mind drifts gently on the currents of time. The calendars were never mere instruments. They were living guide, connecting earth to sky, the human heart to the cosmos. They teach us to live in harmony with the natural world, to honor the sacred cycles beyond our control, and to find peace within the eternal dance of time. As your eyes grow heavy, let this understanding wash over you like a gentle wave. Rest deeply now, dream softly, and be carried gently on time's eternal flow. And now, as our journey through the sacred cycles of time gently comes to a close, let your breath settle into its slow, soothing rhythm. Feel the calm embrace of night enfolding you, a tender reminder that time is both endless and kind, a great wheel turning softly, carrying you gently forward. May the whispers of ancient stones and stars linger in your dreams, guiding you through peaceful rest and into the quiet dawn of a new day. Thank you, dear traveler, for walking this timeless path with me. Until we meet again, rest deeply, dream sweetly, and may your heart always find harmony within the endless dance of time. Good night.